Okay, so 2014. This is going to be my top 25 metal albums that came out in 2014. Definitely was a year filled with a lot of good releases. A few that I just found by random chance and decided to check out that are very high up on the list. So, let's get into it. Number 25, a band called Baby Metal. Basically, this is three teenage Japanese girls who just play a style that they have dubbed as cute metal. And they have a band that does extreme metal riffing, very shreddy guitar solos, and they mix it with Japanese pop choruses and like little cute vocals. There's a song in there called Give Me Chocolate. And in theory, you probably think this would be a terrible, terrible release, but I actually found it quite fun, quite enjoyable. Number 25, Baby Metal. 24, Insomnium with Shadows of the Dying Sun. And wow, this is a beautiful, beautiful piece of melodic death metal. The guitar work's just amazing. It has a great depth of atmosphere. The lyrics are very introspective. Shadows of the Dying Sun. Number 23, Woods of Desolation, As the Stars. This is a very gorgeous, lush piece of melancholy, atmospheric black metal. It's quite expertly crafted, a very good release. I highly recommend it if you like atmospheric black metal. Woods of Desolation, As the Stars. Number 22 is Mayhem, Esoteric Warfare. Mayhem, one of the forerunners of the 90s Norwegian black metal phenomenon. One of, their album titles are classic black metal titles: Death Crush, Live in Leipzig, and of course The Mysteries Dom Satanas. If you're expecting Mayhem of this sound, you will be sorely disappointed, but this is a great experimental release from them. It's very chaotic, it's very twisted, it's very haunting and very obscure. They still have the classic Norwegian tremolo trebled out guitar sound. They have Hellhammer at the kit, good as always. And then you've got Attila on the vocals. It just sounds like a complete and utter maniac. Classic album. My number 22 for albums of the year. 21, Pallbearer, Foundations of Burden. This is an excellent, excellent doom metal album. The vocals just soar above. They're so full of emotion and full of sorrow. It's such a good release. It's almost transcendent. Number 20, Behemoth with The Satanist. What can you say about Behemoth? Blackened death metal, furious, evil, dark, raw. The production's great, the guitar work's great, the vocals are great. Just a bunch of screamed hymns to the great and mighty Lord Satan. Number 19, Thanafaxeth, Sacred White Noise. Holy shit. This is an insane release. The riffs just bounce off of here and there, just distorted, and it echoes back, and it feeds back, and it just goes in all these weird twisted directions with the guitar work. The drums are fucking insane. It's just a very, very strange, a very furious, it's just maniacal, it's extreme, it's twisted. A very, very good black metal release. Something new, a little bit new for the genre, a little bit fresh. Definitely check it out. Number 18, Primordial, Where Greater Men Have Fallen. Another great disc in the catalog of Primordial. They're basically Celtic folk metal kind of mixed with extreme metal, a little bit of black metal thrown in. Very epic feeling. The drums are like marching beat drums. The vocals are just this stoic, shouted, half sung. The songs are almost can be seen as war anthems or dedicated to fallen warriors, stuff of this nature. It's a very good release, very strong release, and a line of strong releases that they've put out for quite a few years. Number 17, Finn with Carry On Skies. Well done again for a band that has also been putting out consistent releases ever since the Malediction Fields. I really liked every release they put out so far, and this is another, I guess, post-atmospheric black metal. Very well done. Very, very melancholic. It's just a good Finn album. Number 16, Dark Space with Dark Space 4. Wow. And just like we've been talking about with the past two releases on this list, another band that has been consistently putting out great material. If you don't know, they put out this brand of black metal, this sound of black metal, where they put forth the feeling that you're trapped, lost out in the bleak, cold darkness of space, in the void of space, I guess you would say. And they just come at you with this wall of sound, these riffs that just pummel and pummel and pummel, furious, a little bit of ambience here and there, just this thick, bleak, dark atmosphere that they create, and that you really have to pay attention to hear all the nuances in the sound, to hear all the little tweaks in the sound, because it's just such a wall of darkness, a wall of coldness that surrounds you when you listen to this release. Well done again for Dark Space. Number 15, Panopticon, Roads to the North. I never thought that I would see a mixture of bluegrass and black metal, but this works, and it's very luscious, it's beautiful, it's an amazing release. Very well done by Panopticon. I loved the last album, Kentucky. This band is really going places fast. They are very unique in the brand of music that they play, and they know how to mix these styles very, very well, very cohesively. Job well done, Panopticon. Number 14, Beyond Creation, Earthborn Evolution. Holy fucking jumping shitballs. This album is incredibly technical death metal, a bit on the progressive side, but my favorite element in it is the bass. That fretless bass that just goes into these intricate lines, interplays with the guitar and the technical lead riffs, and then beyond that you've got the crushing rhythm guitar work and the drums that just pound along, and it's such a good mix. This band, they certainly know their way around their instruments. Very technical, very well done, very well executed. You know, this is one of the best technical death metal bands that's come out in a while. You know, their previous album was on my 2011 list for best metal albums of the year, if I'm not mistaken. Number 13, Fallujah, The Flesh Prevails. Another excellent progressive death metal release. Very technical. There's a little bit of atmospheric keyboards in the background on some of it. The guitar just goes wildly crazy with these lead riffs, and the drummer is pretty damn amazing too. The bass is a little bit low in the mix, but there are moments where it just shines out. It's a very good release, a very atmospheric release, a very strong on the progressive side. Check it out. Number 12, I'm gonna bastardize the name probably, Allegion or Allegaeon, I'm no clue how the fuck to say it, but Elements of the Infinite. And just like the past two, another technical / progressive death metal band, kind of in the vein of Obscura. It has kind of a sci-fi feel to it. Very technical, very fast, very crushing. You know, the vocals are standard what you expect from death metal, but they're very well done. The lyrics are genuinely well crafted lyrics. What can you say about a tech death album like this? It's very well done. I've listened to it a number of times. Great album. Number 11, rounding out, we're almost in the top 10. Number 11, Thou, with their album Heathen. And what an amazing album. You know, it's what you get when you take sludge and doom and just add this shrieky black metal vocals into the mix of it, and it just crushes you the whole time. It just pounds on your skull. It's just bleak and dirty, just dark and bleak, brooding atmosphere. The lyrics on this are so good. One of my favorites is "Join our sad tears and dance on the blackened bones of gods." Wow. Lyrics are just bleak, but at the same time almost have a philosophical slant to them. And this whole album just crushes your soul the whole time you listen to it. Thou with Heathen. Check it out. Number 10, Blue Osnord with their offering third in the series of Memoria Vetusta, Saturnian poetry. I've followed Blue Osnord for quite a few years, and I liked all their first albums. You know, I liked their albums. The other two albums in the Memoria series were my favorites by theirs. I really wasn't a big fan of the 777 series of albums that they released, but this one they go back to Memoria Vetusta, and wow, it's just greatly melodic, wonderfully brutal, classic black metal. with an atmosphere, with a little bit of a melody to it. Not much more to say. Check it out. It's a very good black metal release. One of the best in their catalog. I've listened to it many, many times. Wonderful black metal from these guys. Blue Dog's North, Memoria Vetusta 3, Saturnian Poetry. Number 9, we've got Mastodon with their album Once More Around the Sun, and this is a band that has consistently, in my opinion, they have not released a bad album to date. You know, there's some that I feel were not as strong as the others, but this one, it's a little bit more commercial, as with the previous album, The Hunter, but it works. And one thing I noticed about this album is they have really improved in the vocal department in being able to utilize clean vocals and the intonation's a lot better. It's a little bit more of a stripped down sound as per what we got on The Hunter. That's the only disappointing thing. I'd really love to hear them going back to something in the vein of Crack the Skye and exploring that again. But nonetheless, this is a very, very good album. An album that I have played over and over and over. Wonderful, wonderful album. Wonderful lyrics, wonderful everything. Mastodon, number 9. Number 8, Hail Spirit Noir with Oi Magoi, or if that's even how you pronounce it. And listening to the title track, Oi Magoi, I kind of heard Oi Magi or something like that, so I don't know exactly the translation, but doesn't matter. This is a fucking great album. This is such a strange mixture of almost 70s psychedelic with a little bit of black metal in the vocals and a little bit of black metal within the lyrical department, and it's just an amazing release to be able to blend psychedelic and just sprinkle just a little bit of black metal in the mix of it and have it come out as such a good product, such a good album. Some of my standout tracks were, Satan is Time, where it talks about hell is a room full of clocks. I really like the song The Mermaid a whole lot. This just have that organ, synthesizer, organ, keyboard, whatever the fuck, in the background doing that you hear in psychedelic, and the guitar work that just goes to these strange places, and it crafts into a wonderful psychedelic black metal album. One of the best of the whole year, one of the most unique of the whole year. Hail Spirit Noir, Oi Magoi. Number 7, Black Magic with Wizard Spell. Holy mother of fuck. We are back in the heyday of classic heavy metal, folks. We've got some speed metal, we've got a little bit of psychedelic here, we've got a classic, almost ripped straight from the 70s, Time Warp. Here we are again, back in the heyday of metal. Wizard Spell, every single track is a standout track, every guitar riff is amazing, every drum riff, every vocal pattern. Fantastic. Fantastic, fantastic release. Number 6, Accept with Blind Rage. Holy mother of fuck. This was such an enjoyable album to listen to. I listen to this album all the time now. That was a very, very inspiring album. As I said with the last album, we're right back into the heyday of 80s metal. We're right back to that classic sound, that classic almost speed metal / traditional heavy metal sound. They've got tribute songs to heavy metal where they weave in metal names into the song lyrics. Just the Sabbath Black Witch cut through the purple haze, and here's to the Rockin' Warriors. And then you've got songs like Fall of the Empire, and they're all kind of like, all the songs are kind of like anthems, and every instrumental part is perfect. The vocals are wonderful. The drum work is wonderful. The lyrics are wonderful. It's just a great album to listen to. It's Accept doing what they've been doing for decades, and it's still one of the top albums of the whole year. And now for the top 5, the albums that I consider God tier, legendary, absolute classics. Number 5, Triptykon with Milana Kosmata. Damn. This was such a good album to listen to. The whole album, every bit of it, is very melancholy, has a dark occult feeling to it. A very slow atmosphere, doomy in ways, just dark metal that just permeates with these sorrowful lyrics and these haunting melodies that they put together. You know, musically this album is damn near perfect. There's not really that many of lackluster moments on it, if any. Just a fantastic album. Number 4, Neobliviscaris with Citadel. Neobliviscaris is basically the only way you could describe them is progressive extreme metal. They incorporate a lot of violins. They do clean vocals and scream vocals. They have quiet parts. They have really long song lengths. Very complex in their riff work and their guitar work and their drum work. A lot of just melodic mixed with extreme, a little tinge of black metal thrown in there, a little bit of death metal thrown in there, a lot of progressiveness that just gives them a sound that is uniquely their own. Their previous album, Portal of Eye, was amazing as well. This album, I would say, tops that album on every level. It's on quite a few people's top spot for album of the year. I think there was albums that I enjoyed better, but this is still a fantastico, great release. Sayor, number 3, Sayor with Aura. Scottish black metal, atmospheric, folksy. This album is a stone cold masterpiece, an absolute classic. You've got the guitars that just are so fuzzed out, so distorted, but they're playing these almost folk-like melodies mixed with this black metal sentiment. You know, the drum work is wonderful. You can't really hear the bass all of that well, as per usual in a lot of black metal. The vocals are far back in the mix where you almost feel like you're in the misty mountains of the Highlands of Scotland. They've got the flute or the penny whistle or what have you in the background doing the bouncy little tricks. And the lyrics on this album are expertly written. Very beautiful album. Very atmospheric, very transcendent, very enrapturing when you listen to it. You just want to throw your headphones on, just close your eyes and just absorb the whole album. It's amazing album, a complete masterpiece. Number 2, Aeneon with Extents. What the fuck did I just listen to? Avant-garde, progressive black metal. Fucking amazing guitar work on this album. The vocals are astounding. The lyrics are astounding. One of my standout tracks on this is A Treatise on the Madness of God, I think is what it's called. And then you've got Funeral Blues, which is a great, phenomenal track. That whole album is just incredible. Incredible. Which brings us to number 1, album of the year, best ever. Best album ever for 2014. Drum roll, Trollhagen. Obscure Anecdotes for Maniacal Masses. God fucking damn it, this is a good album. This is the best album of the year, and one of the best albums that I've heard probably in the past 5 to 10 years. I found it by complete mistake scrolling through album charts one day on Sputnik Music. It sounded right up my alley. I love strange experimental shit. I love stuff that's avant-garde. I love stuff that's crazy and maniacal and weird. And with a title like Obscure Anecdotes from Maniacal Masses, as you look at the album cover, you're in for some weird shit. It's very avant-garde, mixed with folk metal, very experimental. It's just a bunch of tracks that tell these really demented stories. It's very fun to listen to. The vocals almost have a silliness to them. But they do these soaring folk choruses at times. It's kind of uncategorizable if you really want to know the truth about it. If it kind of has a carnival-y, almost electronic feel. You've got songs about the chupacabra. You've got a song where this town is going through the midst of a drought, and this man comes by and starts robbing their graves and selling them beef jerky made out of the graves that he's robbed, and they have a line on it that says, "They found their graves robbed. This meat is not from cow." But it's so fun to listen to. I've listened to it over and 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 over again. Trollhagen, Obscure Anecdotes from Maniacal Masses. If you haven't heard this band, if you haven't heard this album, especially if you're a fan of avant-garde, do yourself a fucking favor. Turn the damn video off right now and go fucking find a place to get it. Look it up on YouTube. I don't give a shit how you listen to it. Just go fucking listen to it. Such a good album. You will not be sorry you did it. That's it. That's my list. The top 25 albums of 2014. Shout out to Diana Fair. I hope you're watching this video. I told you I was gonna fucking make one.